morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I say that because today we have a truly global audience. My name is Sharad Agarwal. I am the CEO of CyberGear and founder of onlywebinars.com. I'm pleased to welcome all of you to today's webinar, How to Win High Value Business Using LinkedIn, presented by Neeraj Shah. You will all agree that business is about networking. It's about connecting people with people, people with ideas, and people with opportunities. In the words of Robert Kiyosaki, the richest people in the world look for and build networks. Everyone else looks for work. Marinate on that for a minute. In today's webinar, you will discover the key principles for becoming influential on LinkedIn, the 5 most important parts of a killer LinkedIn profile, the smartest way to engage prospects so they quickly like, know, and most importantly, trust you. And finally, how to turn your connections into a lucrative pipeline of dream clients. Now, let me introduce to you our speaker, Neeraj Shah. Neeraj is a LinkedIn expert and a social selling strategist. For the last 16 years, he has been working with entrepreneurs to use business networks to multiply their influence and income. He grew BNI India, a business networking group, from 0 to 10,000 entrepreneurs across 28 cities in India. He helped these entrepreneurs use business networking to generate over $450 million in revenue. He is also the co-author of the BNI Handy Guide to Networking and a contributing author to the #1 Wall Street Journal bestseller, Masters of Success. Amazing bio there, Neeraj. Before I hand over to Neeraj, on the housekeeping note, we would like you to have fun today. We would like you to participate through the chat tab that you have on your screen. Feel free to put in your questions. And after Neeraj is done with his presentation, I'll be happy to pose your questions to him. Over to you, Neeraj.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sharad. It's been amazing. We have really a global audience and almost 70 plus people from all over the world. So welcome, welcome. I'm going to just start sharing my screen. Just give me a second. Sure. Here we go. Okay. So I hope you want to win high value business through LinkedIn. So I'm going to help you definitely do that. So quick story here. This is my LinkedIn profile link, so you can connect with me there. And I'm also the Entrepreneur Summer School faculty for LinkedIn marketing. And that's a platform on GeniusU, which has about 1.5 million entrepreneurs across the globe. So I've been in this particular networking business for the last 16 years, I was telling Sharad. And the amazing thing is that when I started in 2004, I was one of the early adopters for online networking. And I'd moved from the UK to India to get this organization called BNI started, which was a business network. And the only problem was I only knew one person when I moved to India. So literally I was starting from scratch. And I didn't do very well initially, but then I began to explore these online networks and I began to get traction on there. And through that, I met some really amazing people. They became clients of mine. They began to introduce me to very influential people. I began to get partners. I began to get franchisees. I began to get suppliers. So, it really became something huge for me. And since I've been able to help tens of thousands of people really generate business through networking. Okay, so if you are on the app, the mobile app, okay, you can take a particular screenshot. There's a QR code that you can get, and you can see it at the top right-hand side in your mobile app. And if you tap there and a screen will come on, you can just click on that and you should be able to connect with me. Okay, so that's one way in which we can get this going. So I want you to take tons of notes. This is going to be really a interactive and fast moving session. Okay, so why LinkedIn? I've been involved with social media from 2008, and I've seen this big wave come. And what I've noticed is if you look at platforms like Facebook, Instagram, etc., the organic reach has been dropping quite dramatically. And it's almost become a pay-to-play platform. But when it comes to LinkedIn, LinkedIn really has been the premier business network. Initially, it started out as something that really helped you get a job or you could get talent. But really now it has transitioned and become an amazing business network where you can not only get new leads, but you can also grow your brand and thought leadership. So let's look at some of the important things. There's now 690 million users, and Microsoft, that now owns LinkedIn, would like to take it up to 1 billion plus. 4 out of 5 of those particular people actually are decision makers. And 41% of millionaires are on LinkedIn. So you get really quality people on LinkedIn. And there's great organic reach. And we'll talk about organic reach a little bit later. There was a little poll that I had done. And talking about polls, I think there's also going to be a poll that we're going to be doing. So a couple of them. So Sharad, I will hand over to you in a moment. Yeah. So I think there's a little poll there. How much time do you spend on LinkedIn in a day? So just okay. Here we go. So people are voting. Tons of people voting. Okay. So less than an hour a day. 1 to 2 hours a day, 34, 36%, more than 2 hours a day, 13%, and they live on LinkedIn, 5%, okay. So a majority, about half of you are kind of less than an hour a day. Okay, so let's help that less than an hour a day become really productive, okay? So let's look at, Sharon, can you just share the results? Okay. Awesome. The key thing I want you to understand is that this network is hyper targeted. Literally, you can put in a very specific title and a city, a pin code, and you can begin to find people who would be listed under there. There is no other social network that allows you to find people to this level of reach and accuracy. So, for that particular reason, I just love LinkedIn. Okay, give me a second. So you can see that in terms of lead generation, give me a second. I have to just see if I can move this poll. It's in my way right now. Just give me a second. Okay, I'm moving it to the side. Okay, there we go. Okay, so you can see HubSpot had done this particular research of about 5,000 businesses, both B2B and B2C businesses. And in terms of lead generation, LinkedIn was the best, 274%, compared to Facebook and Twitter. In terms of organic reach, we are seeing LinkedIn have an amazing organic reach. And you can see in this particular poll that I'd done on LinkedIn, we got 78% saying that their organic reach was better than Facebook and Instagram. Now, I have a community both on Facebook and Instagram, and I'd sent this out to my email list where people are from across these three platforms, but you can see LinkedIn was the real winner there. So let's look at how we can tap into this amazing opportunity, because really it is an untapped business opportunity. And I was just showing Sharad a particular graph that had been released from LinkedIn. And we were looking at it, from the time of 1st February to 23rd March this year. And there'd been a 2,781% increase in engagement on LinkedIn. So definitely people are spending a huge amount of time now on LinkedIn, and you don't want to miss out on this opportunity.
Yeah, so what are the best practices on tagging people on LinkedIn?
So typically you want to end up tagging people that you know. And as you begun to have conversations with you, it's more likely if you tag them that they're more likely to then come in and comment. The algorithm, the way it works on LinkedIn is that it will first look at what happens in the first hour of you putting a post on, okay? And if there is some commenting going on, there's some likes, some shares, things like that. And as more people begin to comment and you comment back, LinkedIn will begin to say, oh, okay, this must be important and interesting. So it will then begin to show more people from your network. It doesn't immediately show your whole network. There's something called dwell time, and as this interaction is happening and this momentum builds up, it will begin to show it to more and more people, and more and more people of the network. So it's good to do that. But Reid Hoffman, I know of Reid Hoffman. I'm not connected to him personally, but I ended up tagging him. Yesterday, when I had done productivity, I tagged 3 specific authors, one of them being Tony Robbins. Now, Tony, I have met and, I have done some work with, but the other 2 authors I have met. So it could be some people that you genuinely admire. You can end up also tagging them, okay? So
great, thank you, Neeraj, for that. We are almost over an hour now, so and there are a lot of questions unanswered. Somebody wants to know if they can get a recording of this webinar. The answer is yes. You will have access to a link which will be live for the next 3 days, and we are happy to share that with everybody who registered for this webinar. And there's another question from Anupam, who wants to know a little bit about the premium LinkedIn service. Could you care to comment, Neeraj, on that for a minute?
Yes, so there are 2 paid services. One is the premium and one is the Sales Navigator. So what I would say to you is first learn how to use LinkedIn in the free version, okay? It's like initially knowing how to drive a car, okay? LinkedIn Sales Navigator is like a Formula One car. If you don't know how to drive a car and you try and drive a Formula One car, you could end up getting killed. Now, you're not going to end up getting killed using Sales Navigator, but you're really not going to get the kind of value. So that's what I would say.
Right. And Susan wants to know, how would you rank views versus comments versus share in terms of importance, and what are the analytics one should be looking at when you do a post?
I think comments is something that the algorithm pays more attention to, you know, and thereafter the shares. So comments, I would say first, and then shares.
Great. Okay, on that note, I'd like to wrap up today's webinar. I want to thank Neeraj Shah for making us more intelligent about networking, about LinkedIn. Conversations are the new lead. That's my personal takeaway. And of course, I now believe in ROR instead of ROI. And I hope all the participants did find value in this presentation. Stay connected with both of us. Neeraj has displayed his credentials online. You can reach me through onlywebinars.com anytime. We have 4 new webinars coming up in September. Stay tuned with us and stay safe. Thank you for participating, and wish you all the best.
Thanks,
Bye-bye for
Sharad.
now.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Neeraj. Stay safe.